So I'm gonna, my mission is to get awareness out about women that have been abused and women that have been trafficked and trafficking. They're trafficking 12-year-olds now, 12 and up. I mean, it's just disheartening. Our country is just in a bad shape.
Right now.
Yes, right now. Right now.
Well, when you get in that situation, you think about it. When I was younger and didn't have any money, you think about that stuff. But, it's hard to say what the turning point is for any woman.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But there is turning points, and when they say, I can't make it, I can't do it, I'm going to have to do this horrible, probably the dirtiest job in America is prostitution. And I think they should arrest the Johns and the pimps and save the girls. I think the girls are just so much been conned into that life. You don't wake up in the morning and say, gee,
I want to be a prostitute.
No, you don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, I want to be a prostitute. It's the last thing a woman says. No girl says that.
Well, my personal opinion is I think they should legalize it. I've always thought that.
It's a pros and cons about that, though. Here's there's good things and bad things about that. And I tell you what the bad part, the underbelly of it is that when she is turning tricks, that's one thing. But when she goes home to this person that she thinks that she loves, just like the John went home to his wife and his kids,
Yes.
and his church, and act like everything's okay. Oh, I paid for that. Huh. Well, you know what? You just paid for her to be beat up, probably maybe be killed, put into drugs. Seriously, the 98% of women that are in prostitution are beaten, are abused by pimps. There's only a few women that are on their own doing it. Very, very few. And I have the stats. I don't have them with me, but I have the stats on this. And it is the underbelly of making it legal is that pimp is still going to be there. He's still going to take her to that prostitution house, and he's going to wait for her to come out. And he's going to, if she doesn't come out with the right amount of money, he's probably going to pistol whip the hell out of her. And these are things that none of you people out here think about when you say legalize prostitution. You're legalizing somebody to be beat up. I was beat up. I've got scars on my skull. I was in it 13 years. And you're talking to a lady that knows what I'm talking about.
But wouldn't it, it's going to go on anyway. How are you going to stop it?
You can't stop it. But we can't stop it. But what we can do is the Swedish law. The Swedes, smart as they are, those women were in parliament over there, and they were 52% of women were in parliament. They passed a law that if you buy a human being or you sell a human being for prostitution, you go to jail. So the pimp goes to jail for selling, and the John goes to jail for buying. And the woman gets into a help. They take them into, if they want, they can give them help and get them a restitution, get their children back, and usually it's they help them because the women are the victims. I was abused as a child. I got into prostitution because I had low self-esteem in myself. Those are all factors in when you say, well, let's make it legal. It's so scary to me, and my, because I know what it is. I know what we're saying. Oh, it's okay. It's not okay. We can't make it legal.
Make it. What?
How do you make it legal?
What country does have legal prostitution?
In every country that has, just like Nevada. Nevada is legal prostitution in Nevada. There's women being killed in Nevada every day, every month. There's girls being beat, strangled to death out in the desert, skulls being bashed open. I can give you reports of that bunny ranch. That is the biggest farce you've ever seen in your life. I was out there many years ago when the old man had it. And those girls can't laugh, smile. They have to line up like robots and let the guy come through and pick a chick, and there's a light that goes on above their room when he's in there. and a light that goes off when he's, or a knock on the door when he's supposed to be through, and if not, give more money. I mean, it's so disgusting job, honey. It's just the worst kind of life that anybody could live. It's disheartening.
You know, I understand what you're saying, but some of these high-class call girls.
I was the highest
Well,
class
yeah, you
call
were
girl
high.
in the world. I was Frank Sinatra's dame. I made $500,000 a year, Pat. But I was getting beat up also. I was getting abused mentally, physically by Johnny, the guy I thought I was in love with. So how did I ever advance? I couldn't. I had to run for my life. He was shooting at me with a gun out in the desert because I wanted to get out of prostitution. After 25 years, I was in prostitution almost 13 years of my life. You get so sick of it, you just want to upchuck. I mean, it's just disgusting. Those men are 30, 40 years older than you.
Well, yeah, I know.
I mean, just think about what I just said. Wrap your head around it. 30, 40-year-older men are taking these young girls. Now, guess what? Because of AIDS, now they're taking the 12-year-olds. They're stealing your 12-year-old daughter, your 12-year-old granddaughter, and putting her in prostitution. That's what's going on.
So
and if you legalize it, it's going to make it worse. They're going to do it legally.
So what's your answer to this? I mean, really.
The answer to it is arrest the pimps and the johns and put their names up in lights, put it on the internet, put it on billboards. Here's Mr. Johnson, the lawyer from La-de-da, Brooklyn Park. Here, there's his picture. Uncle Johnny, there is his picture on the billboard. Oh, he was caught for paying a woman prostitution. He was arrested for prostitution. There he is. Put his name out in lights.
Well,
Embarrass the living hell out of them, and they'll never do it again.
I don't know about that.
Well, I do. Just like that lawyer, that one, what was that guy? He was a judge, I think, or something. He was running a prostitution ring. I mean, we can't let this happen, honey. We got to try to stop it. It'll never stop. I'm not naive enough to know and think it'll stop. It's just that I get so emotional about it because I was so many times beat up. I had so many black eyes. My eyes were swollen shut. My mouth was swollen out like this. My skull was cracked open. I had a broken leg. I had a broken arm. I mean, I know what I'm talking about, and it is not a picnic for any girl.
Yeah,
It's very dangerous, Pat. It's the worst profession to get into. It's oppression. It's really bad, honey.
well, yeah, I know it's really bad. I watch enough
Good,
TV to
you
know,
know. Yeah,
that
you
it's
know.
really bad. But, to find a solution, it's like the
The
drugs.
solution is to arrest the pimp
Pimps.
and the John. It works in Sweden. If you go on internet and go to prostitution Swedish law, or Sweden's law against prostitution, their prostitution rate went down 98% in 3 years. 98%. They closed down the brothels, they closed down the strip joints, they closed down the lap dances, they closed all that stuff down, and all those people moved on to other countries.
Well, I was just gonna
of
say to
course
other
they
countries,
do. Of
yeah.
course. So what? At least we get them out of here.
Yeah.
Let's get them out of Minnesota. Get them out of wherever they are. Let them move on. The pimp's gonna take her somewhere else. He's gonna put her in some other joint.
Yeah.
And he's going to browbeat her when she comes out. I mean, that's just that life. If you could realize that they're taking kids.
Oh, I know. They're taking kids. They're bringing boys across the border, so
Oh, yeah.
so men can rape them. And,
Yeah. Sodomize them.
Yep.
Right. It's happening all the time. What is wrong? Why don't we give them all saltpeter like they used to give back in the old days?
Did that really work?
Yes. Matter of fact, my husband was in the Navy, and they used to give us called saltpeter. Saltpeter was
Put it in their food.
yeah, they put it in their food, and then they had low testosterone. In other words, their desire for having sex was very much lower than ever normal. I think that's a.
Did they
maybe we should they actually did that.
They actually did that, huh?
Yeah, they actually did that. My husband said he didn't have any desire to have anybody.
Is your husband still alive? I don't
Oh,
know.
no, Bob's been dead. My first husband, Bob, with my 2 daughters, he's been dead for, oh my gosh, 30 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I divorced him, and moved on.
Young puppy love. We get married because
Yeah.
we think we're in love.
Yeah, right.
You wish you could tell these young girls that get married, oh, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Wait till you're in your 30s. You know?
Yeah. That's what we should do is tell them don't do it till you're 30.
Right.
And then think about it. Then give it another thought.
Right.
Well, anyway, I wanted to thank you so much for coming today.
You're more than welcome.
God bless you. You're such a sweet lady, and I can't wait to get over to the pizza joint and have a pizza. I'm going over there tonight
Oh, good.
and have
good.
some Savoys. Take it home with me
Good.
on the way here from the studio.
Good.
So thank you so much. Thank
Okay.
you so much for coming, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
Nice to see you again.
Okay.
Bye.
You know, Jane, I really, it's just like drugs, you know.
Yeah, it is.
What are you gonna do? I mean, it's
I know.
like when they made
I know.
booze illegal.
I know.
It just made it worse. That's why I was,
Yeah, I know, but
you just don't think it would work for prostitution.
No, because the pimp. It wasn't for the pimp. It would work, but it's the pimp is there in control. He's the one who's controlling the strings on her.
But isn't
She doesn't want to go out and go to bed with 10 guys a day.
no?
That's what we're talking about. You're talking about girls going to bed with 10 guys a day.
Well, maybe they'd have more high-class whorehouses. You know,
And
where
what's
there
that
wouldn't be
gonna
pimps.
do, in
Where
other
there wouldn't
words?
be where there wouldn't be pimps. Where you'd have them at 'em and
Never gonna happen. You're gonna tell me that chick that's turning tricks all day is not gonna have somebody that she cares about and loves, and thinks that she loves and thinks loves her? She's gotta have somebody too.
yeah, that's
She's
true.
just not gonna go in there and turn tricks all day long.
That's-
And not one prostitute I ever talked to ever enjoyed any sex with any trick. So that's a done deal. That's done.
You never enjoyed sex with
Never.
her? Never?
Never once.
You
You
didn't,
know, and it's a robot.
you didn't like having sex
No, hell no. They're tricks.
with even with that guy that you loved?
With my old man, yeah, of course. Oh yeah, oh yeah, hell yeah. That was cool, but not with any tricks. They're
Well,
30,
yeah,
40-year-old men.
I tried doing sex where there was no emotion and I didn't like it.
That's right, honey.
Not like a guy. He can wham bam. Thank you, ma'am.
That's
you know?
right, honey. That's right. Thank you, Pat, for coming, honey.
Although I know it's strictly taboo.